Chelsea fans, welcome back to Talking Chelsea. Welcome back to the Chelsea news. In today's video, we have some wild transfer rumours to go over and give our thoughts and opinions on. Some updates regarding Victor Osimhen and Saudi Arabia. Some updates on Moises Caicedo and Saudi Arabia. A decision yet to be made on Jadon Sancho, which we will discuss later in the video. Now, of course, I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported, but more importantly, I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments. And before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content. We're on the road to 10k by the end of 2025. So kicking things off, the Mail Sport has reported that Chelsea explored the idea of signing 33-year-old Virgil van Dijk this summer before he signed a new contract with Liverpool. What? This makes literally no sense. Why would Chelsea go for Virgil van Dijk, one of the best centre-backs that's ever graced the Premier League, right? Granted. Unbelievable player. Chelsea, a Liverpool legend, nearly said Chelsea legend, a Liverpool legend with such rich history with that club and history of being a rival of Chelsea Football Club. Why on earth would he come to Chelsea? We wouldn't pay the massive wages he would want because he would be a free agent, you know, so we would have to pay bigger wages. We wouldn't pay that wages. He wouldn't come to us. What a ridiculous thought that Chelsea even thought to explore the options of Virgil van Dijk. Plus, we don't sign anyone over the age of 25. You want to sign a 33-year-old? I mean, I would take Virgil van Dijk in a heartbeat. What a player. Obviously, now he has signed an extension with Liverpool. But the thought that Chelsea explored that idea is absolutely wild to me. Moving on to a report from the Express which says Chelsea, Barcelona, Bayern and PSG are all monitoring Marcus Rashford during his loan with Aston Villa ahead of a potential summer move. Again, what? Now, whether this is just PR, whether it's just to get clicks, I don't know. Whether Chelsea are genuinely interested in the potential transfer of Marcus Rashford, it will never happen. For two reasons. One, the massive wages he's going to want. He's going to demand big wages. What's he on at Manchester United at the moment? Like 300,000+ a week? We aren't even going to match that. We aren't going to offer that. Is he a good player? Yes, we're seeing the talent of Marcus Rashford. We saw it at Manchester United seasons ago. He kind of dips in form with a good season, bad season, good season, bad season, depending on who the manager has been on the systems that they play at United. Under Unai Emery at Villa, what a fantastic player. He's showing his skill set. We're seeing the old Marcus Rashford, if not a better version of Marcus Rashford. He's really flourished. I think he'll go Villa in the summer. I think he'll want to extend that stay. He'll want to stay there permanently. He's being treated right. He's got his confidence back. He's showcasing his skill set. Chelsea aren't going to pay that transfer fee that they're going to demand. We're definitely not going to pay the wages. So it's just another bogus transfer rumour or story regarding Chelsea. We're linked to everyone. I've just thought it'd be interesting to cover this because what are your thoughts on Marcus Rashford? Do you have him at Chelsea? I would have him in a heartbeat. I think he's a fantastic player. In the right system, given the right tools. Do you think he would thrive under Enzo Maresca's system? I don't think so. Would Chelsea pay the massive wages he's going to be demanding? I don't think so. Do you think we would pay the transfer fee to United? Probably, if we could try and amortise it over 10 years or however we have been doing it. I just think it's wild, man. Marcus Rashford, I think if he is going to go anywhere, will be going to Aston Villa. Team Talk have reported that Atletico Madrid, Bayer Leverkusen and Chelsea are all interested in signing Alejandro Garnacho this summer. Manchester United have set his price tag close to £70 million. Now, this is one that we were heavily linked with Garnacho in January. We were flirting with the idea of going to buy him. Please don't. In the nicest respects, please don't. We don't want Garnacho. He's not the profile we need. Right? £70 million on a youngster. He has some good moments. He has some bad moments because he's young. He's inconsistent. And I know that Chelsea love hunting around for youth, the gems, paying loads of money over a long period of time, locking people down to 400-year contracts and paying them peanuts. £70 million for Garnacho. I just don't think it's worth it. Who's to say Garnacho goes on to be an absolute world beater? He may well do. I don't think he is the right profile for Chelsea. I don't want Garnacho at Chelsea. I just don't think he fits into the culture, the system. £70 million is a ridiculous amount of money to pay for him. In my opinion anyway. You know, some of you may think that £70 million is actually reasonably cheap for a youngster with a lot of potential. But if I'm being brutally honest, Chelsea's summer transfer window this summer needs to be experience and proven players and no more potential. No more 4 years, no more 5 years, no more 3 years down the line. We need to improve this squad for the here and now. So I would say a massive no on Garnacho. Let's be honest. I don't think he's good enough for Chelsea. He plays well at United, great. I don't think he comes into the Chelsea squad and improves it. I think he becomes a squad player, and I don't want to be spending £70 million on a squad player. Reece James had some words to say in a post-match interview on TNT Sports after that embarrassing defeat to Legia Warsaw, and he said today was for sure not progress. If anything, it was a step back. Maybe we disrespected the competition today, but this is football. If you don't prepare right, you will pay. And do you know what, Reece? I totally agree. I feel like the Chelsea team, the management, everything about last night was horribly wrong. It was a disgusting performance. It was embarrassing to lose to Legia Warsaw at home. Yes, we'd already done the damage 3-0 away, in the first leg. We go for an aggregate call. But that performance, if you isolate that performance, it was absolutely hideous. And I think Reece is right. We disrespected the opposition. We disrespected the competition. We thought it was going to be easy. Legia Warsaw thought, nah, we're going to rock up and attack. We're going to know how you play. We know you're not going to try and get out of second gear because you got the 3-0 cushion. We're going to attack. And they absolutely battered us at times. They fully deserved their win. They deserved their goals. We were absolutely atrocious. So I'm glad that Reece James, as the captain, has come out and said, look, that wasn't progress. We disrespected the competition and the opposition. We didn't prepare. We paid the price. Accountability. It goes a long way. Reece James then commented on the fans and he said, I understand the frustration, to be honest. I understand fans come to games to see excitement, to see goals. Today we were frustrating to watch. We remain focused and we will stick together and look forward to achieving what we want together. Again, I'm glad that someone is coming out and addressing the fans. Enzo Maresca said that the environment wasn't the problem last night, which is quite a flip-flop really, considering there were boos ringing around that stadium at full time and during the game. There was 10,000 less tickets sold. There was 29,000 people at the game last night, and Legia Warsaw fans outsung us for every single minute like they did in the home leg. So what, is the environment not the problem now? Now, what Reece James is saying here specifically, I'm glad he understands it. I know that they're press trained and they can only say certain things. I get that. But I'm glad that he's acknowledging it, saying, look, I get it. It's frustrating. You want to see excitement, want to see goals. We're frustrating to watch. Well, if the players know that, why aren't they trying to develop their game? Why aren't they trying to become more exciting? Why is Maresca playing this stale, boring football that sends fans to sleep, that has no attacking threat, which is not potent enough, which is just recycle the ball in a little horseshoe around people's formations? I just don't get it. But I'm glad that Reece has come out and said, look, I get it. We're frustrating to watch. He understands where the fans are coming from. And look, they're sticking together, looking forward to achieve what they want together. Cool. Well, what we want to achieve, Reece, is Champions League qualification and the Conference League win as an absolute minimum of the requirements this season. So let's hope that you guys can pull your finger out for the last 6 games of the season and fight like every game is a final. Every game is a final, including Fulham, starting Fulham away this Sunday. That is when the finals start. The finals actually started before the Legia Warsaw game. It was the Ipswich game, really. That's when the finals started. And if that's a projection of how we're going to play in these remaining games, mate, we're going to tumble down the table. We're going to tumble down the table. So I'm hoping that he means what he says there. We remain focused, we stick together, and you want to achieve what you want to achieve. Well, I'm hoping that is Champions League qualification, and I'm hoping that's a Conference League trophy, because that's the bare minimum that the fans expect this season. Moving on to some more transfer news, we have Gustavo Jaric. I think that's pronounced right, I'm not entirely sure. Chelsea are keeping tabs on River Plate's 17-year-old Argentine midfielder Franco Mastutuno. I think that's how you say it. He currently has a release clause of £38.5 million, which rises to £43.5 million in the last 10 days of the transfer window. What is it with Chelsea constantly being linked with under-18s in South America? Can someone please explain to me? Because I don't understand it. Why? Why are we linked to under-18 players in South America? This time, it's an Argentine midfielder. Now, I don't know much about Franco Mastutuno, if that's how you say it. I can't even pronounce his name, and that's just purely because I can barely speak English. Please correct me in the comments. I don't know much about him. He could be an absolute world beater. He could have all the potential in the world for the next 4, 5, 6 years. Fair enough. £40 million on a 17-year-old. We've got to stop doing this. We've got to stop doing this. This is what I said earlier in the video. This summer transfer window needs to be experienced for the now. It needs to improve the squad heavily so we go into next season actually competing across the board in all competitions. FA Cup, whatever European competition we end up in, Europa League, Conference League, Champions League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Premier League, everything. We need to be competing across the board, and we can't be doing that if we keep spending 40 plus million on 17-year-olds from South America and saying, look, you know, in 5 years' time, in 4 years' time, in 3 years' time, we haven't got time. It's been, what, 3 years, pushing on 4 years with the new owners? We're waiting for the improvements. We're waiting to see things improve. We're waiting to win things. We're waiting to be the Chelsea that we know and love, because we are not the Chelsea we know and love. I saw a lot of content creators last night putting out their videos, big in the Chelsea space, you know, OGs of the space, saying that we're not Chelsea anymore. Chelsea died in the takeover and we're now CFC LDN. And do you know what? I totally agree. We're a completely different Chelsea. I will accept that. I'm happy to trust the process if there's incremental, you know, improvements, and I can see it. But what we're doing right now is not an improvement. And spending 40 million plus on under 18 footballers from South America is just not the one anymore. Moving on to the Victor Osimhen update, David Ornstein had this to say. He said, I'm not sure Osimhen's salary would work for Chelsea and other potential suitors, with quite a few people you speak to in the Premier League predicting he will end up in Saudi Arabia. Now, I've done a couple of videos on Victor Osimhen on this channel, you know, since doing the daily news content. And I actually firmly believe this will happen. I think Osimhen will go to Saudi Arabia because they will pay him an astronomical weekly wage, which no one can compete with. It's an easy way of life for him. He can get rich, bang in goals, still play for his nation in the AFCON, you know, and just whenever Nigeria play. I think it makes sense for him. He loves money. You know, I could be proved wrong. He could turn them down. Fair enough if he does. If you turn down Saudi Arabia, you have to respect it. Transfer fee that Napoli would get would be monstrous and they'd be happy. So it's a win-win for all parties. I know that there's this ever-ending dream that Chelsea fans want Osimhen to sign for us because it's a boyhood club, and John Obi Mikel keeps saying it's an easy deal to finish. I hear that, I get that, I just don't see it happening. Osimhen's going to want £250,000 plus a week. Chelsea are not going to pay it. It's just going to be the stalemate, going backwards and forwards, and it's the same things being recycled in the news and reports. But I found this very interesting because now it's slowly pushing Osimhen, you know, in the way of Saudi Arabia, and I feel like that actually makes the most sense for him. He's 26 years old. He's still got a long career, really, in modern football. He's got a good 10 years, really. You know, careers are extending due to injury. You know, it depends, you know, if he gets any injuries, etc. But he could go Saudi Arabia for 4 years, come back in his prime, and still warrant massive money and massive fees. But I feel like, you know, Saudi Arabia would probably be the best option for Osimhen. As much as I'd like to see him in a Chelsea shirt, I just cannot see it happen. My heart says yes, my head says no. Now, when it comes to Jadon Sancho, Kieran Gill has reported Enzo Maresca on when Chelsea will decide whether to keep Jadon Sancho or pay a penalty to send him back to United. And he said, it's the same as Andre Santos. I'm not thinking about it all next year. I'm just thinking, how can we get the best from them to finish the season very strong? I don't know whether I like this answer or not. I think he's done it to protect the players because he doesn't really know the standing at the end of the season, who he's going to take into next season and whatnot. And wait, we better be keeping Andre Santos because he walks into our team right now and he improves it massively. Jadon Sancho, I actually quite like Sancho. I know a lot of fans want to send him back, etc. But he's had a few good games recently where he's got assists and got goals. And look, I think he is a quality player. And I think when he works within our system and the system is working, he absolutely cooks. And I think to bag him for £25 million is cheap. He's still got a long left in his career. We could potentially flip him in years to come for profit. I'm very, very sure of that. However, if we're going to spend $5 million and send him back, it's £5 million. One thing I will say, and I've said this before in previous videos, our left wing position, no one knows what's going on. Are we going to keep Sancho? What's happening with Mudryk? Is he being sold? Has he been banned? Is he not? No one really knows. So we do actually need to have an idea of who's going to play on that position next season. And I feel like keeping Sancho makes the most sense. He's embedded into the system. He's played with us for a season. I think he's got something like 12 GA this season in all comps or something like that. It's not a bad return when you really think about it. He had 16 in 83 games at United, or 18 in GA in 83 games, something like that. So look, there has been a big improvement. At the start of the season, he was cooking. He's now starting to play well in the last few games. I would actually keep Sancho. I don't think you're doing a disservice or doing anything wrong if you do keep him. And finally, the reports have come out that Moises Caicedo has made it clear he does not want to leave Chelsea this summer despite contact from Saudi Arabia. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Now, I had a feeling that Caicedo would want to stay at Chelsea. He seems to love the club. He seems to be one of those players that's extremely grateful for the opportunity to go to a club and, like, you know, we've given him everything and he just wants to be the heart and soul of the club, and he is. He's our best player by a country mile. This guy's the best DM in the world. I don't care who says what. He just is. He's the best DM in the world. And I'm glad that he's turning down Saudi. You have to respect it. Big transfer fee for Chelsea. Big wages for him. But he wants to play Premier League football. He wants to stay at Chelsea. He wants to improve the team. And I massively respect it. And that puts our mind at ease. It was probably just speculation. A few days ago, it was reported that, you know, he was going to go Saudi and they were interested and he wasn't happy at Chelsea. So I'm glad that this has been reported to clear it up. So that's the latest Chelsea news for today. Some wild transfer rumours regarding Van Dijk, Rashford, Garnacho. No decision on Jadon Sancho yet. Caicedo turning down Saudi Arabia. I've given my thoughts throughout the video, but I want to know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I love having a conversation with you guys. If you have watched this video all the way to the end, you're a real one, but there'll be a thumbnail that pops up on the screen. So if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content, make sure you click that thumbnail because you'll enjoy that video too.